Feeling buried in stuff and don't know where to start? You're not alone, and you're not stuck. These 9 simple tips helped me go from overwhelmed and anxious to clear-headed and calm. If you've collected years' worth of items, memories, and clutter, I get it. Letting go can feel impossible, but these steps are made especially for seniors, gentle on the body, easy to follow, and kind to the heart. You'll learn how to clear just one drawer without stress, how to let go without guilt, and how to feel lighter, physically and emotionally. Whether you've got a cluttered closet or a packed garage, by the end of this video, you'll know exactly how to begin. No pressure, no shame, just a path toward a simpler, more peaceful home and a clearer mind. Stick around because tip number 9 might just change how you see everything. If every drawer, closet, or corner feels like a mountain you just can't climb, you're not alone. Clutter builds up slowly, years of memories, gifts, paperwork, clothes that once fit, things we meant to use someday, and over time it stops feeling like stuff and starts feeling like a weight. For many seniors, it's not just the physical clutter, it's the emotional load, guilt, sentimentality, the fear of letting go. And when every room has something that tugs at your heart, it's no wonder you feel stuck. But here's the truth, you don't need to do it all at once. You don't need to feel bad about it. You just need a place to start. And when you do, it gets easier, a little lighter, a little freer. So if you've ever looked around and felt overwhelmed, know this, you're not behind. You're just ready for a fresh start, and I'm here to help you take that first step. Today I'm sharing 9 simple decluttering methods, made specifically for seniors, easy on your body, gentle on your heart, and powerful for your peace of mind. These aren't about rushing or tossing everything out. They're about small steps that help you feel calmer, lighter, and more in control of your space. Whether you're downsizing, organizing, or just tired of the mess, these tips will meet you where you are. And trust me, 9 isn't just a tip. It's a mindset shift that completely changed how I look at my home, my stuff, and even myself. Stick around, you don't want to miss it. 1. The 5-minute timer trick. Let's start with something incredibly simple, but surprisingly powerful. Set a timer for just 5 minutes. That's it. Not 30, not an hour, just 5. Why? Because the biggest obstacle to decluttering, especially as we get older, isn't the stuff itself. It's the feeling that it's too much. That starting will take too long or take too much energy, and so we avoid it. We tell ourselves, I'll do it later, and later becomes months, or even years. But 5 minutes? That feels doable. You can do 5 minutes standing. You can do it sitting. You can do it with a cup of tea on the table and soft music playing in the background. It's just long enough to get started, but short enough that it doesn't overwhelm you. Here's the magic. Once the timer starts, your brain shifts. You stop thinking about the big picture and focus on one small win, one drawer, one pile of mail, one corner of the coffee table. And even if you stop at 5 minutes, you've still made progress. You've still cleared a little space. You've still kept a promise to yourself, and that feels good. It builds confidence, momentum, a sense of control. But something funny happens when the timer ends. You often want to keep going. That little burst of energy turns into something more. And suddenly, what felt impossible 10 minutes ago becomes completely manageable. Here's a personal example. I used to have a kitchen counter that drove me crazy. Papers, batteries, pens that didn't work, unopened mail. It was a mess. Every time I walked by, I felt a little heavier. I'd think, ugh, I need to deal with that. But I never did. One day I told myself, just 5 minutes. I set a kitchen timer, turned on a light podcast, and started sorting. When the timer went off, I looked down, and half the clutter was gone. I didn't even realize how quickly I was moving because I wasn't thinking about finishing, I was just starting. That small win made me feel so much better, I did the same thing the next day, and the next. And within a week, that counter was clear. No marathon cleaning, no guilt. Just 5-minute steps that led to big change. Now maybe 5 minutes seems like too little to make a difference. But think about it this way. Even if you only decluttered for 5 minutes a day, 5 days a week, that's over 21 hours a year. And you don't need 21 hours to change your home. You just need consistency. This tip works especially well for seniors because it respects your energy. It doesn't ask too much. There's no pressure to finish anything. It's about gently showing yourself, yes, I can still do this. That belief alone is worth setting the timer for. So here's your challenge. After this video, grab your phone or a small kitchen timer. Pick one little area, a drawer, a nightstand, a bathroom shelf. Set 5 minutes and just begin. No expectations, no pressure, just action. Then stop, celebrate, let yourself feel good about it. Because in that small act, you've started something big. The shift from feeling overwhelmed to feeling in control. That's what this is all about. And that's just tip number 1. 2. The one drawer a day method. When your home feels full of stuff, of memories, of years of accumulation, it's easy to look at an entire room and feel completely stuck. You stand in the doorway and think, where do I even start? The answer, you don't start with the room. You start with just one drawer. The one drawer a day method is one of the most powerful and gentle ways to declutter without the stress. It's simple. It's focused. And best of all, it works beautifully for seniors because it doesn't demand a lot of physical energy or long hours. Why one drawer? Because a drawer is a contained space. It has edges, a beginning and an end. You can see progress quickly, and that quick win gives you a little mental boost. It builds confidence and motivation to keep going, one small area at a time. There's something deeply satisfying about seeing an empty or neatly organized drawer, especially if it's one you use every day. Imagine opening your kitchen utensil drawer and not having to dig through random pieces you never use, or opening your bedside drawer and only finding what you actually need. Reading glasses, a notepad, a book, maybe a few sentimental photos. No expired coupons, no mystery keys, just useful calming space. The beauty of this method is that you don't need a plan for the whole house. You just need today's drawer. Let me share how this worked for me. A few months ago, I was feeling completely overwhelmed by my bedroom. Clothes stacked up on chairs, papers on the dresser, makeup and old receipts crowding every surface. Instead of trying to fix the whole room, I made a deal with myself, just one drawer a day. I started with the top drawer of my nightstand. It took me 10 minutes. I tossed out dead batteries, pens that didn't work, and sticky notes from 5 years ago. I found a bookmark I'd forgotten I loved. I put in a small tray for the essentials and closed that drawer with a deep breath and a smile. The next day, I did another drawer, then another. After a week, not only were 7 drawers organized, I felt mentally clearer, emotionally lighter, and even slept better, knowing my space felt a little more in order. Decluttering doesn't have to be fast. It doesn't have to be done all at once. In fact, slow decluttering is often more thoughtful and lasting. You have time to decide what you want to keep. What truly matters to you now, not 20 years ago. So here's your invitation. Open just one drawer today. Don't overthink it. Don't plan the rest of the room. Just start with one space you can finish in a short sitting. And when you're done, take a moment to appreciate what you've just done for yourself. Because you didn't just clean a drawer, you reclaimed a little bit of calm, and that's worth showing up for again tomorrow. 3. The 3-box rule. This is one of the simplest, most effective methods to make decluttering decisions easier, especially when you feel emotionally attached to the items around you. It's called the 3-box rule, and here's how it works. Set out 3 containers or bags, label them clearly, keep, donate, toss. That's it. This method takes the guesswork and emotional overload out of decluttering because it gives you clear, kind boundaries. You're not just handling random things and trying to decide their fate on the spot. You're placing each one in its rightful next chapter. Let's break it down. Keep is for the items you use often, love, or truly need. These things still serve a purpose or bring you joy in your life now, not just in the past. Donate is for the things that are still useful but no longer needed by you. This could be clothing that doesn't fit, kitchen gadgets you never use, or duplicate items. Let them bless someone else. Toss is for items that are broken, expired, worn out, or simply not worth keeping. No guilt here. Letting these go clears space for peace. This rule helps simplify a process that can otherwise feel overwhelming. When we hold up an item and feel torn, should I keep this? What if I need it? What if it's sentimental? We get stuck. But when we have only 3 options, the decision becomes clearer. We're not deciding if we should let it go. We're deciding where it goes next. Here's something that helped me personally. I used to get stuck keeping things just in case. A second coffee grinder, 3 can openers, mugs I didn't even like, But once I created a donate box, it reframed the decision. I wasn't throwing something away, I was sending it on to someone who would use and appreciate it. That shift made letting go so much easier. And here's a tip. Don't let the boxes sit too long. At the end of each session, take out the trash and put the donation box in your car or near the door, ready for your next trip. That way, you'll feel the full effect of the decluttering, visually and emotionally. So if you're staring at a cluttered space today, don't try to sort it in your head. Just grab 3 boxes, label them, and start placing things one by one. It's focused, it's manageable, and it gently moves you from chaos to clarity without the mental overload. Small actions like this are what create real lasting change, one choice at a time. 4. Sit-down sorting. Decluttering doesn't have to mean bending, lifting, or wearing yourself out. One of the most senior-friendly, and surprisingly productive, methods is called sit-down sorting. Here's the idea. Instead of trying to clean out a space while standing or moving around, bring the clutter to you. Set up a small, comfortable workspace, your kitchen table, a card table, or even a lap tray in your favorite chair. Then choose one drawer, one box, or one bag of clutter and bring it to your seat. Sit down, take a breath, and begin sorting right from your chair. This method works beautifully because it removes 2 of the biggest barriers for many seniors: physical strain, bending over, standing for too long; decision fatigue, feeling rushed to finish a space all at once. Instead, sit-down sorting turns decluttering into a peaceful, manageable task. You can make a cup of tea, turn on soft music, and take your time going through each item at your own pace, without pressure. Let me give you a personal example. My hallway closet had become a chaotic mess. Scarves, gloves, old shoes, tangled cords, even board games from 1998. The thought of standing there, hunched over and trying to tackle it all in one go, way too overwhelming. So instead, I grabbed one bin from the closet, brought it to the kitchen table, and sat down. I had my 3 bags ready: keep, donate, toss. I went item by item. I smiled at some memories. I let go of things I hadn't used in years. I tossed out things that were broken or worn. And after 20 minutes, I not only had a cleared bin, I had a clearer mind. The beauty of sit-down sorting is that it respects where you are in life. It honors your energy. It transforms what might feel like a chore into a calming, even reflective process. You can even make it social. Invite a friend or family member to help. Share stories about the items you're letting go. Use the time to laugh, reminisce, or just enjoy company while doing something that makes your space and your mind lighter. This tip is especially helpful for sorting sentimental items, which can be emotionally taxing. Sitting down helps you stay grounded. It gives you the space to make decisions with intention, rather than rushing through them. So if you're facing a room that feels like too much, don't try to tackle it all at once. Pick one box, bring it to your seat, and sort from a place of ease. No guilt, no rush. Just progress one piece at a time, because decluttering doesn't have to exhaust you. It can actually restore you. You deserve peace and comfort in your space. And sit down. Sorting is a gentle, effective way to get there. A memory lane pause. Decluttering isn't always about the stuff. Sometimes, it's about the memories tied to that stuff. A birthday card from a grandchild, a faded scarf you wore to a special event, a chipped mug from a long-gone vacation. These items may not have much use anymore, but they hold weight. They hold stories. And that's why the memory lane pause is so important. Here's how it works. When you're sorting and something sparks emotion, pause. Don't rush past it. Don't immediately throw it out. And don't guilt yourself into keeping it forever either. Instead, take a quiet moment to honor the memory. You might take a photo of the item so the memory stays, even if the object doesn't. Write down the story that item reminds you of. Call or message a family member and share the memory with them. Or simply sit with it for a few breaths, smile, and say, "Thank you." Then, and this part matters, let it go. Not all memories need to live in a box. You're not throwing away the love or the life attached to the item. You're making space for now, for the next chapter of your life, for clarity and calm. Here's a story from my own life. I found an old cardigan while sorting through a hallway closet. It was my mother's. She wore it every winter. It still smelled faintly like her perfume. As soon as I picked it up, I felt a wave of warmth and grief. I hadn't seen that sweater in years, but holding it brought her right back. I paused, I sat down. I remembered the Christmas morning she wore it while making pancakes. I cried a little, smiled a lot, and then I took a photo. I sent it to my sister with a simple message. Remember this? We both laughed. And then I let it go. I didn't need the sweater to keep the memory. I'd already carried it in my heart. And now I also had a photo and peace of mind. The memory lane pause is powerful because it makes room for feeling without letting those feelings hold you back. It gives you permission to slow down, to remember, and then to choose what stays, not just in your home, but in your life. This tip is especially helpful for seniors because by this stage, many of us have lived full, rich lives, and with that comes decades of emotional attachment to objects. And that's okay. But we don't need to carry every item to carry the meaning. So the next time you're sorting and your hand hesitates over something sentimental, don't rush. Pause, remember, smile, take the picture, tell the story, then thank it and let it go. Because your memories are valuable, but your peace, your space, your clarity, that's priceless. 6. Ask the magic question. Would I buy this again today? When you're decluttering, it's easy to get stuck in a loop of indecision, especially when you're looking at things you've had for years. You might think, well, it's still in good shape. I might need it someday. Someone gave this to me. And before you know it, that drawer, closet, or shelf stays just as full as it was before. That's where the magic question comes in. Would I buy this again today? It's simple, but powerful. It breaks through all the guilt, the maybes, and the justifications by focusing on who you are now, not who you were when you got the item. Let's say you're holding a sweater. It's been in your closet for years. You haven't worn it in ages. Ask yourself, would I walk into a store today and spend money on this exact item? If the answer is no, it's probably time to let it go. This question works because it reconnects you to your current needs, taste, and lifestyle. Our lives change, and what once felt useful or beautiful might not serve us anymore. That doesn't make the item bad. It just means it's had its time. Here's how it helped me. I had a set of serving dishes I used to bring out for every family gathering, big floral-patterned, heavy platters. At one point, they were the heart of every holiday meal. But now, I don't host big dinners anymore. The platters were heavy, hard to store, and I hadn't used them in over a decade. Still, I kept them. Out of habit, out of nostalgia, out of guilt. Until I asked the question, would I buy these again today? The honest answer, no, my life had changed. And that was okay. So I donated them to a local community center, where I knew they'd be used and appreciated. And in their place, I kept one simple dish I do use, and every time I pull it out, I smile. The magic question can help you with everything from clothes to kitchenware to decor. That book you never finished, would you buy it again today? That extra blender, would you choose it now, knowing what you already have? Those old DVDs, would you buy them now or stream something instead? It's a gentle but honest way to filter your belongings through your present life, not your past one. This tip is especially helpful for seniors because it shifts the focus from getting rid of stuff to choosing what adds value now. It empowers you to create a home that reflects who you are today, not who you were 20 or 30 years ago. So the next time you're unsure about keeping something, stop and ask, would I buy this again today? If not, let it go with peace and confidence. You're not losing anything. You're making space for what truly matters in this season of life. 7. The One Bag Challenge. Fill one bag a week to donate. Just one, it adds up fast. When you're feeling overwhelmed by years or even decades of accumulated belongings, the idea of decluttering everything at once can feel impossible. That's where the One Bag Challenge comes in. It's simple. Once a week, fill just one bag with items to donate. Not 10 bags, not a truckload, just one ordinary-sized bag, grocery, trash, or tote, and commit to filling it with things you no longer need, use, or love. This method is gentle. It respects your energy, and more importantly, it builds momentum, slowly but steadily. Why it works? For many older adults, decluttering can be both physically tiring and emotionally loaded. Every drawer and shelf can hold memories, what-ifs, and some days. The One Bag Challenge sidesteps all of that by keeping things manageable. You don't need a big plan. You don't need to reorganize a whole room. You just need to find a few items each week that no longer serve your life today. It might be a few shirts that no longer fit or feel right, an old purse you haven't used in years, duplicate kitchen tools, paperback books you've already read, gifts you appreciated but never actually used. By giving yourself a small, consistent goal, you create progress without burnout, and that's where the magic happens. A personal moment. When I first started, I wasn't even sure I had enough to give away week after week. But once I opened that first closet and filled the first bag, I realized it's not about running out. It's about letting go of what's ready to go. And that one bag felt like more than just decluttering. It felt like relief. A few weeks in, I noticed something else. I started looking at my home differently. I started noticing little things I'd walked past for years and thinking, do I really need that? Is that still me? Without even meaning to, I had shifted my mindset. It became less about stuff and more about space. Bonus tip: keep your donation bag visible. Leave it by the front door or somewhere easy to access. Throughout the week, if you come across something that no longer feels needed, drop it in the bag right then and there. No pressure. No big decisions. Just small wins that add up. Once the bag is full, take it to a donation center or schedule a pickup. Then start the next week fresh. The one bag challenge is perfect for seniors because it's low pressure, easy to adapt to your energy level, consistent, which creates lasting change. And here's the truth. If you do just one bag a week, that's 52 bags a year. Imagine the space, freedom, and clarity that would bring. So start small. Start today. Fill just one bag, and let that be enough for now. Because lasting change doesn't come from one big clean-out. It comes from small, kind actions repeated over time. 8. Get a declutter buddy. Ask a friend or family member to join you or even just check in. Accountability makes it easier. Decluttering can be a lonely task, especially when you're sorting through years of memories, making tough decisions, or just trying to stay motivated on your own. That's why one of the most powerful strategies, especially for seniors, is to get a declutter buddy. It doesn't have to be someone physically helping you with every drawer or box. Sometimes just knowing someone is checking in, or better yet, decluttering their own space at the same time, can make all the difference. Why it works. Decluttering often comes with emotional and mental fatigue. You might feel unsure, stuck in nostalgia, or simply not motivated to start. But when someone's walking alongside you, even virtually, it makes the whole process feel lighter, more doable, and even fun. Here's what a declutter buddy can do. Provide accountability. A simple check-in like, "Did you get through your drawer today?" can help keep you on track. Celebrate your wins. Even small progress feels more meaningful. When someone cheers you on, help with hard decisions. Sometimes you just need to say, "Should I keep this?" and have someone give a kind, honest opinion. Make it social. Share photos of what you're letting go. Swap stories. Laugh over strange things you forgot you even owned. And this doesn't have to be in person. Your buddy could be a friend across town or a family member in another state. A weekly phone call or text message is all it takes. A personal example. When I first started decluttering, I asked my cousin, who lives several hours away, if she'd do it with me. We made a little pact, one drawer per week, and a quick phone chat every Friday to share what we'd done. Some weeks we didn't do much. Other weeks we made huge progress. But the connection kept us both going. One day I was struggling to let go of a set of teacups I inherited but never used. She asked me, "Do they bring you joy or just guilt?" That question unlocked everything. I realized I was holding on because I felt like I should, not because they added anything meaningful to my life. I donated them the next day, and I felt free. How to find your declutter buddy. Ask a trusted friend, neighbor, or family member. Join a local community group or senior center with a decluttering theme. Start a weekly challenge with your grandkids. Even kids can get in on it. Or simply ask someone to check in once a week for support and encouragement. You don't need to go through this alone. Having someone by your side, even just emotionally, makes decluttering feel less like a chore and more like an act of connection. Decluttering isn't just about clearing space in your home, it's about making space in your life. And sometimes the best way to do that is together. So go ahead, ask someone to be your declutter buddy. One conversation, one drawer, one shared goal. You'll be amazed how much lighter it feels with someone walking beside you. 9. Shift the story. You're not letting go of memories, you're making space for peace. This is about honoring your life by lightening your load. At the heart of every item we struggle to part with, every box in the garage, every shelf filled with keepsakes is often a story, a belief, a feeling. And sometimes that story sounds like this. If I give this away, I'm erasing the past. If I toss this card, I'm disrespecting who gave it to me. If I clear this out, I'm losing something I may never get back. These thoughts are human, but they're also heavy. That's why this final tip is the most important of all. Shift the story. Decluttering isn't about forgetting. It's not about erasing the life you've lived or the people you've loved. It's not about becoming a minimalist or starting over. It's about honoring your journey by gently releasing what no longer serves you and making space for what does. Let's reframe what letting go really means. Letting go of old clothes doesn't mean you're letting go of the memories you made while wearing them. Donating unused dishes doesn't mean you're erasing the family meals you once served. Tossing papers, old notes, or broken items doesn't mean you're forgetting. It means you're choosing peace over clutter, space over guilt, and now over someday. Here's something I've learned. Every season of life deserves its own space. You've lived a full life, rich with experiences, relationships, lessons, and love. But that doesn't mean you need to carry everything from every chapter into this one. By shifting the story, you stop seeing decluttering as losing something and start seeing it as gaining something. Gaining clarity, gaining room to breathe, gaining a home that reflects who you are today. And that shift is powerful. It turns decluttering from a dreaded task into a deeply healing process. A personal reflection. Years ago, I held onto a closet full of things that no longer fit, not just physically, but emotionally. I told myself they were part of who I was. But the truth? I wasn't that version of me anymore. One day I stood in front of that closet and asked, what if this isn't about what I'm losing, but what I'm making room for? That changed everything. I let go, not with sadness, but with gratitude. And I gained something I hadn't felt in a long time: peace. If you're struggling to begin, remember this. You are not defined by your stuff. Your memories live in your heart, your photos, your stories, not in a dusty attic or overstuffed drawer. Decluttering is not about perfection. It's about freedom. It's about giving yourself permission to live lightly and with intention. So if you've been carrying guilt or fear, or just too much weight from years gone by, let this be the shift. You're not letting go of your life. You're celebrating it by choosing space, calm, and presence. Because this stage of life isn't about holding on to everything. It's about choosing what matters most. Let go with love. Keep what brings you peace, and know that you are honoring your beautiful, meaningful life every step of the way. What's the one area in your home that needs a little love? Let me know below. I might feature it next. If even one tip helped you today, give this a thumbs up and subscribe for more easy wins like this.